This video is a part 4 to a series I'm making about my last trip to Asia. If you want to see part 3, click on the link in the description down below. Hey, it's me, Julie, and I'm bringing you guys part 4 of my travel vlogs. This time we are visiting Asakusa and Akihabara. This was actually one of my favorite days of this series, and I'm so excited to finally share with you all. As always, I hope you enjoy. So to start things off, I have here my outfit for today. I wore this green faded tank top and I combined it with this flowery pink crop top from Forever 21. For shoes, I wore this black boot that kind of looks like Doc Martens. And I finished the look off with these denim mom jeans from Cotton On. Oh yeah, and I also wore that belt that I still don't know where it's from. Now back to the video. We started out by walking to the Sensoji temple in Asakusa. It was a pretty long walk, it was about 20 minutes, but walking through the empty streets of Tokyo gave me the opportunity to take some pictures for my Instagram, so it was a win-win kind of situation for me. Personally, I had the expectations that the streets would be much more alive per se. I didn't expect a crowd on the streets, but I also didn't expect it to be so dead silent. I thought there would be at least white collars late to work, but also families going out because of Golden Week, but to my surprise, it was just us. Us and the crows. They were literally everywhere. Overall, we had a nice walk. We mostly talked about ghosts to Tom, my cousin, and I also pissed everyone off by singing Mamma Mia over and over again because I had this video stuck in my head about a guy that goes to Japan just to sing it inside a river. I'll link it somewhere in this clip since it's one of my favorite videos on YouTube. Anyways, here on my bullet journal, I'm cutting this map of Asakusa from the flyer that I got from the hotel's reception to place it as a centerpiece in this journal entry. I placed it down with this glue stick and my hands. Next, I overlined the page's header with this black marker and also included the name of the region that we were visiting, which was Asakusa. This was also from the same flyer.
That is a habit I never had.
Finally, we're arriving at Asakusa, and as you can see, that pointy building right behind it, that's the Tokyo Skytree. Since we arrived very early, all the shops are closed, so we made our way towards the more touristy sites near the temple. First, we came across Orange Street that has the street literally painted in orange. Not only that, they also had celebrity handprints on the sidewalk. Then we were on Denbuen Street, which is a traditional Japanese street with shops and restaurants. Again, this was still early in the morning, so the stores weren't opened yet. Therefore, we headed to the Sensoji entrance. Now, usually people enter the Sensoji area by the Thunder Gate, which is the official entrance, but we entered through Denbuen Street on the west, the Nakami shops as we went south to see the Thunder Gate, then went back to Orange Street. So this is the Nakami Street, and as you can probably tell, they were the only ones that were actually open that morning. Jokes aside, this is one of the most famous shopping streets in Asakusa as it connects the main entrance to the Sensoji temple. Most of the shops here consisted of Japanese goodies, souvenirs, and waving cats. Lots of them. And since it was bright and sunny outside, during that morning it was very hot, as you can tell by my expression in this clip. But the reason why we were at Nakami Street at that time was because 1, as I said before, it was one of the only places opened, and 2, we had to wait until 10:30 for our kimono appointment near Orange Street. So basically because we had to waste time. And here was when we arrived at the Thunder Gate, best known as Kaminari Mall. It is an iconic landmark of Asakusa alongside the Sensoji temple. From this angle, it looks like the place is filled, but I can promise you it wasn't as busy as it seems. Being the Gen Z that I am, I needed to take a picture in front of the gate to prove that I was there by posting it on my Instagram. And once we were done, we headed back to Orange Street for our kimono transformation. Before we get there, let me just say that this place is great to rent a kimono. We loved our experience there. The employees were also kind. They helped us putting on our garment and also did our hair as well. I don't remember how much it was, but I remember I didn't find it to be expensive. So if you're interested, I'll leave the link down below to the rental. While we get ready, back on my bullet journal, I'm adding in the description of Asakusa and I'm writing down the weather, the time I woke up and went to sleep, and the same piece of paper of the journal entry from the day before. One hour later, we got out of the rental ready to walk around Asakusa in our kimonos. Wanna see my kimono? Here it is! It took me long to decide, but I ended up with the best kimono out of the rental, for my complexion at least. And it wouldn't be me if I didn't post a picture in this kimono on my IG. Next, we headed towards the Sensoji temple. By this time, the streets were so much more crowded than before, and I was dying from heat inside this layered kimono under the hot sun. But that didn't stop us from reaching the temple. This was the first look we had once we arrived, and needless to say we were in awe by the size of this place. My first instinct was not only to take a picture here, but also to make a fool of myself in another country. And I couldn't miss this opportunity to post another picture onto my Instagram. On my bullet journal, I dedicated most of the second page to this temple region. Here, I'm placing down a picture of the Thunder Gate that I got from a magazine, as well as a description of the Sensoji temple. I also placed down a description of the Denbuin Street. Along with the descriptions, I decided to include some small pictures of the Nakami Street. Now, one of the things we did there was drawing your fortune. How it works is by dropping a 100 yen coin, then think about a wish while shaking the canister until one of the sticks falls out. Lastly, open the matching drawer to your stick number. And there you have it. On my journal, I decided to tape my fortune paper to the spread so I wouldn't lose it, along with my wish underneath. To my surprise, I got the best fortune for my wish, which I'm keeping it a secret until it actually occurs. After taking our fortune and a few more pictures, we left the temple. We made our way through the Nakami streets again. This was maybe our fourth time in a day, but we were heading south towards the gate to get ourselves a rickshaw ride. Let me just say up front that I highly recommend this tour. It is well worth the price for the service you're getting. The lovely drivers plus the view of the city is an experience like no other. But please don't pick a one-way ticket kind of ride like we did because, well, you'll see. We chose a more modest tour that ends up in the Buddhist temple up north, but they have all kinds of different circuits that can take you to important Asakusa locations. So for the time being, enjoy the ride.
Introduce my first car. Its name is Jumbo.
Jumbo.
Full name is Toshi. Same size of glass of beer. Yeah? Building.
Yes. No, not this one. Yeah.
How about this? Golden Monument. Blue building.
After that quick little stop, we continued our route to the temple. Finally, we had arrived at our final stop and we had to say goodbye to our lovely drivers. Now you might be wondering why we chose to come here in the first place, and you're not alone. I'm not entirely sure either. But I'm guessing we wanted to visit a less busy temple to see what it was like. So in the end, we didn't do much apart from taking pictures and looking around. Therefore, we left the Buddhist temple to return to the same place that we were before. And that, my friends, is why we regretted not taking a fuller, more expensive rickshaw ride. On the flip side, one of the few pros of walking back was this beautiful path in Sumida Park that we took. Here in my journal, I'm placing down this picture of me taken by my sister while we were inside the park. Also, it's worth pointing out that this park has a great view of the Tokyo Skytree. Now this was when we were already getting closer and closer to the Sensoji region, and by this point we were all very hungry and boiling from walking under the hot sun, even though it may not seem like it in this clip. So we were ready to take off our kimonos and grab some lunch. And as you can probably tell, I was already very comfortable being in front of the cameras. Back with our normal clothes, we went to grab our lunch. We decided to eat at the nearest McDonald's since we were very hungry and it was the most convenient option. Fun fact, this was actually the last time I ate there. And while we eat, here I'm writing down where we stopped for lunch. After we were done, we were off to the nearest station to take the subway to our next location. That location being Akihabara. Now, if you don't know this place, it's famous for being an electronics and gaming hub with a heavy manga and anime influence. I was really excited to go there because I was looking forward on buying a film roll for my camera, and if you don't remember on the last vlog, I didn't get so lucky finding it in Shibuya. Back on my bullet journal, I'm placing down this map of Akihabara to remind myself that we actually went there. So once we arrived at the station, we went straight to Bic Camera so I could search for the film I very much needed. As you can see, most of the people that visit Akihabara are young adults, and I think this is partly due to the strong otaku culture this place has. But anyways, it didn't take long for us to reach Bic Camera, my favorite cosmetics/electronics store. Jokes aside, unlike the other store we had visited the day before, this Bic Camera sold mostly electronic products. Not only that, it had up to 7 floors of goods to buy from. Fortunately, one of these goods was the film I was looking for. This is the FujiFilm Superia 400. We spent a long time inside the store, but once we were out, we were very thirsty and looking for something to drink. So we walked to the nearest cafe, that being Tully's Coffee. When we arrived, this place was quite full, so we changed our minds and actually grabbed a water at one of the vending machines. Since this was the first time that we were using one of these, you can get an idea of how excited I was. Okay, so I don't remember exactly where we went next, but it was the kind of store that sells anything and everything. We intended on buying skincare products and also some souvenirs for friends and family. So these are the things that I bought. First, I got a pack of face masks from Lululun. Also got the sunscreen from Allie, and I highly recommend it. And lastly, I got this Rosette cleansing paste from a brand I don't know the name of, but it's very good. Once we were done, we headed out to one of the game centers in the region since we heard it was one of the must things to do in Akihabara. We ended up not playing any of the games because I was fearful of getting carried away and wasting a lot of my money in there, so we went in with the purpose of viewing what's inside rather than anything else. Next, we were ready to leave and go back to our hotel in Ueno. But before actually reaching the station, we did a little bit of walking around to see this place begin to light up as the night approached. If you're thinking about coming to Akihabara, I think it's really worth checking out. But if you're not into the whole gaming and anime culture that surrounds it, you might feel like there's less to see here like we did. However, in terms of electronics, they have everything you can possibly imagine. Once we were reaching the station, the view was like no other, as you can see in this clip. Here was when we were already inside the station, and as you will see, we were going to take line 2 green for Ueno. At the platform, we actually ended up missing the first train that was already there, so we had to wait a little bit for the next, giving me the opportunity to make some weird faces to my camera and to film some more Japanese subway aesthetics.
The local train will arrive shortly on track 2. Please stand behind the yellow line. Akihabara, Akihabara.
So while we make our way back to the hotel, here I have the tag from the Souvenir jacket I bought in Asakusa that looks like this. Ever since we started planning our trip, I was dreaming about buying a souvenir jacket like this one. And since this is a very precious item to me, I decided to include the tag in my journal so I can remember where I bought it when I look back. Here was when we had arrived at Ueno Station. It was still considered early, it was about 7 p.m, but at this point I was feeling very tired from all the walking that we did on this day. But before we headed back to the hotel, we made a quick stop at the market that Ueno Station has to grab our dinner since we didn't intend on leaving our room again once we got it. Also, a little fun fact, I was really into drinking Cokes during this whole trip. So every time we were eating our meals, I was probably having a Coke with it. Now this was when we were already out of Ueno Station and on our way back to our rooms. I decided to leave this part in of our way back because I wanted to show you guys what the streets looked like during the night. And while we make our way up, back on my bullet journal, I'm adding in where we grabbed our dinner and also some finishing touches like this image. Last but not least, I'm including this picture of me and my mom in front of the Tokyo Sky Tree in our kimonos. And we're done! And this is how the pages turned out in the end. We ended our day with a nice dinner with a Coke on the side and had this sweet potato treat for dessert. So I hope you guys enjoyed one of my favorite days of this trip, and I'll post the next part sometime soon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!